Hi, welcome to Mid-American Gardener. I'm Jennifer Nelson. I'm the guest host tonight, sitting in for Diane Noland. We have a great panel of experts here today to answer your gardening questions, so I hope you're ready to call in. First, though, we're going to go through some introductions, and we have Bob Skirvin here with us tonight with a great show and tell.
Hello, my name is Bob Skirvin, and I teach horticulture here at the University of there. You gotta look at the right spot. At the University of Illinois. And I brought in a few things I just wanted to show you here. My specialty is fruit crops, so keep that in mind. Anyway, what I want to show you is right now is strawberry season is beginning at the grocery store. And there's a lot of strawberries, and they're coming in. They're really inexpensive right now. Now, the reason is that California has had no production for about a month or 6 weeks. The strawberries have to have wintertime. In California, they have to have a wintertime too, and they get about a month of cold, and so the strawberries are starting to come in. So the California strawberries are coming in this period, like 6 weeks where there's no California strawberries. Then there's a big market, and strawberries come from Florida, they come from Louisiana, they come from Mexico. There's all sorts of places, but as soon as California comes in, they're all dead. That's the end of the market. Anyway, so right now they're in the store. They're different. You can even try. If you want to compare Florida strawberries, Louisiana strawberries, you can do that. Now, the way you pick good strawberries is the strawberries come in these little, what I call clam packs. I don't know if you're, we'll get it open here. There's clam packs with the fresh strawberries inside. They don't get crushed, and it's really nice at the store. And the nice thing about it for the sellers is they put a pound in there, and you can't sneak an extra strawberry in there, so it's nice for that. But the way to get good strawberries is just pick these things up and smell them. Just stick your nose up there and go through it. If it doesn't smell good, don't buy it. Try it. get another one, or go to another part of the store and get the good strawberries. And they're really, really good right now. And they'll be coming in to be really inexpensive for quite a while, because right now we got Florida strawberry, Louisiana strawberry, Mexican strawberries, plus California strawberries, and they got to sell them to you. So get out and get some strawberries. They're really good for you. They're really fun. They're really tasty.
Oh, great. Thanks, Bob. That's
Okay.
a great tips. Marty, what did...
I just bought 4 pounds of them yesterday.
Huh?
Hi, my name is Martie Alagna, and I'm a private landscaper. We have a couple emails here. The first one I'm going to do is about crabgrass. Somebody writes in from their asparagus patch where the crabgrass has taken them over, and they wondered if you could spray it with Roundup. So the crabgrass comes up about 2 or 3 weeks before the asparagus. It seems to be a losing battle. Well, little crabgrass tutorial. Crabgrass grows flat. It's an annual weed. It produces seed all summer, and it grows in a flat little circle with the seeds on the outside edge. And then the seeds drop, and they germinate, and then they grow in a flat little circle with seeds around the outside edge, and pretty soon it takes over the yard, and then you get crabby. That's right. That's where it gets the name. Probably. So,
It's true, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's, hey, you know, get what you pay for on public television. Anyway, here we go. Your best option for crabgrass control is to apply a pre-emergent, okay? Bee cuts like Preen. You've heard of this product. It's widely available in garden centers all over America. Put it down in the spring, okay? Like, usually the rule of thumb is about when the forsythias are going to bloom, you put down the pre-emergent, okay? And follow the label directions. It's very easy. You just sprinkle it out. It's not difficult. It won't. I don't believe it will bother your asparagus, but check the label just in case. And the beauty of Preen or products like it is that it's long lasting. It's a granular, so it breaks down slowly and it keeps the seeds from germinating. So as the seeds don't germinate all at once, you know, as they start to want to germinate, that will keep that from happening. Also, handweed. Pull any ones that manage to slip through the preen, and remember that if you have crabgrass in the yard next to the asparagus bed, you're going to have crabgrass in the asparagus bed. So make sure you do control of the whole area, or you might as well just give up. But that should help you. That should work.
Oh, thank you, Marty. Great tips. Bill, you have an email for
Sure.
us?
My name is Bill Vander. I'm a certified arborist, and I have an email from a gentleman in Oakland, Illinois. It says, I have a tulip tree in my backyard, and branches are hanging low, and he wants to trim them. when is a good time to trim these? Is it autumn, spring, fall? And I would just say yes, yes, yes. Really, there's an old adage, prune when the knife is sharp, which essentially means just prune at any time, at least with a tulip tree. Now, there are a couple notable exceptions. If you have an elm tree or an oak tree in an area where oak wilt or Dutch elm disease is prevalent, you'd want to prune only in the dormant time of year. But tulip tree you can prune any time of year. Winter is sometimes a good time of year because you can see really the skeleton of the tree. You can see the shape of it, the structure. Of course, if you're just removing low limbs, that's probably not as important. If you want good wound closure, however, you might want to prune later in the spring and early summer. But any time of the year would be fine for pruning a tulip tree.
Great, Bill. Thanks a lot for that. We're going to change gears a little bit here and go to the Did You Know segment on apples.
Apples harvested from an average tree can fill up 20 crates that weigh 42 pounds each. It takes about 36 apples to create 1 gallon of apple cider.
Okay, we're going to go to the phone lines next and see what callers we have on line 1. Peter has a question.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. A few shows back, one of your hosts showed a fruit called Buddha's hand.
Right.
Oh,
and
Buddha's hand.
explained to us how to use it. We bought it, couldn't make sense of it, tried it, it didn't taste good. So now it's sitting out in the snow looking pretty, but if possible, it'd be nice to get a reminder what Buddha's hand is all about, how you use it.
Well, the only way I've ever used it, I buy it for my students and take them into class because they're so funny looking, and they smell really wonderful. Is that you can make candy out of them? You take in and kind of boil them in sugar and make a candied rind, and that there's a lot of flavor in those things. I know that one of my friends took one of my Buddha hands that I hold into class and used it. Took the zest off it and made a cheesecake. God, it was really good. It took about 4 days for the flavor to develop because it's very subtle, and then it just takes over in there. But I think probably more than anything, it's used as an essence and as a flavor, the zest. You take and cook with it or set it around and let it smell. I know the last one I had, after about a week, it started to mold. It didn't keep as well as I thought it would. I just had it out, and let it smell up the house.
Is there any actual fruit inside, or is it?
No,
it's just kind of all rind.
And I know that Chuck, when he was talking about it, he said you can cut them open, and they're not bitter. So you could, if you actually wanted to eat the inside, you could do that. It's not bitter like some, but I've never tried that. But mainly, what I've seen it used for is for the zest, a really strong zest, and making candy. Take and cook it down in sugar, kind of boil it down, and then take and dry it out, and you get candied orange peel. Basically, is what happened.
Okay. Well, continuing along those same lines, we're going to go ahead and do another round of your show and tell there. What did you bring?
Okay.
Another citrus product.
Well, one thing I wanted to show you here, talking about citrus, is that one of the things I try to tell you when I'm here, and one of the things I do in the store, is if you know what season it is, it's incredible the things you see in the store. And right now, the broccoli is wonderful. Broccoli is very expensive, things like that. But I'm a fruit person, we don't talk about that. So the strawberries are knockout. Be sure and buy the strawberries. There'll be lots of really good ones there. But another thing that's really interesting this time of year are all these different kinds of tangerines. They have different, we were just talking about clementines and easy peels. I don't know, a whole bunch of weird names. I think mainly those are marketing. They're tangerines, and they're very inexpensive now. It used to be almost all of them came from Spain this time of year, but now California is really back in the market, and there's lots of these fresh from California. They're very inexpensive. One of the things that's interesting about it is I was raised in California. When we were children, we loved to eat the tangerines, but there was always like 15 seeds, and it was like eating a watermelon. You're spitting seeds all the time. It's kind of fun when you're 10 years old to spit the seeds, but these seldom have seeds. And what they do is it's the same variety, but they take and plant it in an orchard. Like if this were the orchard right here, then they would have like a half mile on each side of some other crop, so the bees can't fly in and pollinate it. So the seedless ones are here in the middle. So it takes a lot of space, but that's what they're doing. And they're I bought these for 10 cents a piece.
Oh, great. Yeah,
And
this
so
is the
they're
time.
very inexpensive right now, and they're really delicious. So be sure to get some of this. There's lots of citrus coming in. It's citrus season. There'll be lots of funny looking citruses coming in the store. So try one or try them.
Great,
Buddha's
thanks, Bob.
hand, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Buddha's hand.
You're making us
That's a
all
weird
hungry.
one.
Marty, do you have another email?
I do.
Continuing in the fruit theme.
Yes, as a matter of fact. Very astute. That's a fantastic segue there, Jim. One of our viewers wrote that they had planted a small raspberry bed this spring and wondering if, when, and what to fertilize with. Should also like to know what mushroom compost is used for and its effect. Now, mushroom compost is generally finely screened compost made from composted manure, as far as I know. If I'm mistaken on that, please correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Really, the most important thing with your raspberries is get the pH right in the bed before you plant them. Now, that may seem like a moot point, but if they're doing well, I'm sure it's fine. If you'd like to test your soil, raspberries like a pH of between 5.5 and 6.5, so 6 is good. Just slightly on the acidic side of neutral. So they should do really well. If the color of the leaf is nice and green and the fruit is doing well, then I wouldn't, you can fertilize for production if you'd like, but I'm telling you what, if you've got them in a place that they like to grow, you won't have to worry about fertilizing for production.
Well,
However,
plus they spread.
oh, they do. They spread. You do need to mulch them because in even moisture is important, because then you won't get little dry spots in your berries and things like that. But in fact, I'm not sure why you didn't do this question, Bob, since you're the small fruits expert. But anyway, they need plenty of light, plenty of air circulation. Mulch them. If you want to fertilize them with just a commercial fertilizer, you can use 10-10-10, or you can just use composted manure, and that should be just fine. I'm sure they'll blow you back.
Great, thanks, Marty. And more fruit questions with Bill.
Sure. Well, I have a question from a viewer about acid lovers, and it says, the condensate water from my high-efficiency furnace tests between 4 and 5 on pH paper, which is pretty darn acidic, and asking if that concentrate or does it need to be diluted to be suitable for acid lovers like blueberries or ferns. And actually, that would work. I would just use it directly. There is one thing to consider when you apply something that's acidic to the soil. The soil has a buffering capacity, so it's going to knock that pH up some. But blueberries are somewhere between 4 and 5 on the pH scale, and I think ferns, when I checked, was somewhere around 5. But using that condensate water should be just fine. Go right
A
ahead.
good use for it, actually.
Yeah,
yeah.
I never knew that. I never knew.
Yeah, never occurred to me.
Very resourceful.
I thought it was too.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the phone lines. And line 2, Angela has a question on amaryllis.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We are.
Okay. I have an amaryllis, beautiful red one, and it's got 5 blooms on it now. It's absolutely gorgeous. I planted it right after Thanksgiving. Now I'd like to keep the bulb, and what do I do?
You would just treat it like a regular house plant.
Yep.
And just keep on keep it alive. And what I've done in the past, I had real good luck. And then I take mine outside, just plant it in the garden for the summer, and let it grow. And then was in the fall, dig it up and let it dry out.
Yeah.
I've not had luck putting it out in the garden. I forget it too easily.
Yeah, you got to remember it's there.
Yeah.
It's not hardy.
When the flower stalks fade, cut them off pretty close to the bottom, and the leaves will follow. So they're going to have to photosynthesize to feed that bulb, just like daffodils and tulips and any other bulb. So yeah, and even a shady place in the yard has a usually pretty adequate light
Right.
for a plant like that. And then, yeah, about August or September, you can, if it's still in the pot, you can just tip the pot over someplace quietly and stop watering it. Let it go dormant.
And the greenhouse, they can lay the pot on the side, under the bench or the side, and so you don't
just
water,
leave
and then
'em.
just don't water for 2 months. And
Yep, let them dry up.
And as it gets bigger, it's more likely to have more flower stalks. I've seen them have 2 or even 3 flower stalks on them.
Yeah, when you want to grow it again in the fall, be sure you repot it and leave about the top third exposed out of the dirt. And you also might want to put some stones on the soil, because as the flower grows, you know, it's very top heavy. It wants to tip over. So, and use like a clay pot. Don't use a plastic pot, or it definitely will tip over.
Okay, well, let's go back to the phone lines. On line 1, we have Ellie with a question on orchids.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I have an orchid here that is getting ready to bloom, and it's about the third time in a little over a year. But the last time it only had about 3 blossoms, and I wonder if I need to fertilize it, and when do I fertilize it?
I have a couple of orchids at home, and I would say that you do need to fertilize it in between flowerings.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't know if you do it if it's just about to flower. I thought you usually did it before it to get it to set
Yeah.
the
Typically, it's not when
blooms,
it's
but
in flower.
Is
Yeah.
there a special orchid fertilizer?
You can get tropical plant
Yeah.
fertilizer. You can
Probably
just
just have
Or
those little
blue-
bottles
just
you buy in
anything
the store.
soluble, you know.
Or a blooming plant fertilizer typically has a little higher phosphorus content in
Yep.
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I know,
point.
I know one of my grad students got to grow orchids. Got in my laboratory. We have those beautiful orchids. Remember that? And I always thought it was a mystery to grow these things, and he just could really
Some
grew
people have
orchids.
the touch.
I grew them in the greenhouse really easily, but in the kitchen it's not quite as handy. But good for you, Ellie. Wow.
Great, thanks. We're going to take another call. Line 3, Vicki has a question on chestnuts.
Bill.
Go ahead, Vicki. Are you still there?
You know, I've never even seen a chestnut before in my life until this year. Anyway, I know it's probably too late to even get any. But anyway, so that's the first time I ever even seen them. I got some from Kroger's, and anyway, it wasn't very good. So I just wanted to know when was the best time to get them. Probably about November, but I never even seen none before in my lifetime.
You mean you want to go harvest chestnuts?
No, I just know when was the best time to buy some. Probably about November, I imagine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they're usually out in the fall,
I think it's a
for
more of a holiday
Thanksgiving,
thing.
Christmas, holiday.
Yeah, the chestnuts on campus, they take and harvest it at the probably early fall. So I guess that's when they appear in the stores, sometime in the middle fall, early winter.
I would expect.
Okay.
Yeah, November-ish.
For
Okay.
stuffing, and you can roast them on an open fire. You may have heard. I'm not sure.
I bought some on the street in Barcelona, Spain one time.
That's
Yeah, hot
pretty
ch-
far
hot
commute,
chestnuts.
though. Really, you know.
It's a long trip to
It is.
Barcelona.
They were really good, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to go back to the phones here with line 4. Mary Lou has a question on poinsettias.
Hello. I have apparently a knack for keeping poinsettias for about 11 or 12 months after I acquire them. And the only problem I have with them is that they don't come back in color. They keep putting out new growth, but it's always green. And so my white poinsettia has a few white leaves and lots of green growth, and nice and bushy and full, but not in the color it had when I bought it. The new one that I got last Thanksgiving week, I always get them in Thanksgiving weekend from a florist in Kenosha. And the one I have now is red. I'd like to keep it red, and I don't know how to carry them through.
Well, the color on poinsettias are actually the flower is the little yellow part in the middle, and the part that colors red or pink or white is actually a bract. You've probably noticed the leaves just turn. The ones that are around the leaf, the little flowers in the middle, the yellow ones, they turn just to be able to attract pollinators, just to make them more showy. So you're not going to be able to hold that color, but what you can do is begin when? What?
Usually
September?
about October.
October.
September, October.
You have to start making the day length and the night even for the poinsettia. So 12 hours in a day. Just, pardon me, put it in a closet to keep it dark for a long enough, for 12 hours. Be sure and take it out, put it in a sunny window, 12 hours. If you need to supplement that with a lamp or a light, do that. And that will make the poinsettia want to bloom. And when it starts to bloom, the bracts will color.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for that.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
It's probably more easier to buy a new poinsettia.
I applaud your ability to keep them alive all year.
I get mad or the cat eats them.
I
Had that
have seen
happen.
people have the knack for bringing them back into color, but most people
Yeah.
find it's a lot easier to just
Just
buy
buy
a new
another
one.
one.
Well, who has a closet that's empty enough to set one in and take it?
Right.
Not me.
And
you
they're
know.
super sensitive to light. If you
Yeah.
break that cycle of 12 hours, you can
I
have
tell
to
the
start
students you
over.
can put a big box
Yeah.
over the whole
Right.
Yeah.
That would
like
work.
that, but still, it
Yeah.
takes a lot of discipline
Yeah.
to keep track
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
if you
Yes.
forget,
You
Yeah.
do.
you're back to square one.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go back to the phone lines. And line 6, Tom has a question on manure.
Yeah, I've got a little question. Is it better to use the manufactured stuff that you can pick up at all the stores and everything? Or is it better to use the stuff that comes from Mother Nature animals?
Well,
Well, it's all the same.
but what animals are you talking
Yeah,
about? That
yeah.
makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
And the age of it.
Yeah,
You
the-
know that what you're buying is
Yeah.
aged.
The trick with using manure, like from a farmer, is that first you need to compost it, especially if it's from horses or cattle. Goat manure and rabbit manure can be used right out of the animal. Imagine. You can kind of top dress with those, but they process things a little more differently. But the other ones, you really want to compost. The chicken manure is way too hot. It's too high in nitrogen. If you put it on your plants, it'll burn it. So compost it. And the way you tell it's ready to use is if it's cool to the touch. If it's cool like the dirt around it, then it's ready to use. If it smells like dirt, it's ready to use. If it smells like not dirt, it's not ready to use. So your nose knows, and so do your fingers. So, just put it in a compost pile, turn it a little bit, mix some leaves in. It won't take very long. And once it's composted, it's nice and cool, and it smells like dirt, go ahead and use it.
Thanks, Marty. Another great tip. We're going to take one more call from line 5. Janet has a question on a tree.
Yes, I have a rubber tree plant, and it's about from 3 to 4 feet tall. The lower leaves have been falling off, and they have spots on them, and there's some brown on it. And what I'm wondering is if I need to transplant this plant, because I don't know if it's got enough soil in it. That might be it.
Well, there's a number of things that come to mind when I hear spots on leaves and leaves dropping. It sounds you could have some bacterial or fungal problems going on. Any other thoughts, panel?
Make sure you're not overwatering.
Yeah.
If it's sitting in water, if the roots are sitting in water at all. If their roots are coming out of the bottom of the pot, I would say you're probably right. You need to repot it. But if they aren't, set your pot up on some stones or brick, a couple bricks. So when the water drains out, the bottom of the pot doesn't sit in it. And your problem might heal itself. So, but if it's a fungal or a disease problem, that'll be different. I would definitely remove any leaves that look icky and dispose of them in the garbage. Don't let them fall and lay on the soil of the pot.
Okay. I think we have enough time to go to the Mid-American Gardener quiz on pruning spring flowering shrubs.
When would be the correct time to prune spring flowering shrubs? A. Late winter. B. Early fall. C. After blooming. C. After blooming. Shrubs that flower before June 15th should be pruned soon after flowering. Pruning these shrubs in late summer, fall, or early spring will remove the flower buds and therefore the flowers.
Oh, something to keep in mind as the weather warms, which it will at some point, and you get the itch to prune. Don't prune those spring flowering shrubs right away. I think we had a really great show tonight. Lots of fruit questions, so get out there and buy some strawberries and citrus.
There you go.
I can smell them from here.
Yeah. I almost
Good.
opened the package anyway, just for a
Oh,
fact.
we all get to sample. It's
Indeed.
you never know what'll happen here.
I
We're really
will.
good.
If Bob comes and brings food, he's very generous.
Thanks,
to
Bob.
share.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Yeah. They're really good.
They're
And
good.
it's wonderful. Be sure to smell them. That's really the trick to get the strawberries.
Your
It's so
nose
easy,
knows.
I think.
Strawberry manure, your nose knows.
Yes.
They're even red
We've gone
inside.
from one extreme to the other.
There you go, the finished product.
Okay, well, thanks for a great panel. Thanks
Yep.
for joining us, those of you at home, and stay warm and think gardening.